Hi, this short video is going to show you how to do Seabird burrow monitoring on the NRDS Aina app. So I've already reviewed the instructions and I'm familiar with general usage of the app itself. And the first thing I'm going to do is come to the menu and I'm going to fetch data. So what fetching data does is it grabs the data off the server and puts it locally on my device. And I can just select certain things if I only want to fetch certain types of data, but in this case I'm going to fetch all data. And in the event that I just say want to update my drop-down list, like I added a new species to my targets or something, or a new user, a new worker, I can just come over here and I can just update drop-downs. So I'm going to go over a few things. I'm going to go over searching for burrows, adding a new burrow, adding a check that has a camera associated with it, and then using species observations to change the taxa of the burrow or to change the status of the burrow with, say, a mortality event. So if I want to search for an existing burrow, I can click on this magnifying glass on the top and type in the name of my burrow. And you can see that now I can click on it and that'll take me to the burrow that I'm looking for. I can also long press on the magnifying glass and that'll bring me to this data menu where I can select burrows and it will order the burrows in proximity, and I can then zoom to the burrow, which will then highlight or just click directly on the burrow to enter data directly into the form. I can also get to that menu by clicking the menu bar and clicking data. Okay, well, I'm standing at this burrow, so I'm just going to click on it, and once I click on the burrow, I can click on the burrow itself, and then I can click check, and that'll bring me right to this form. I'm going to say this is a known burrow, and I'm going to fill out the form. And in this particular case, this burrow already has a camera location associated with it. So I'm going to click on the camera location, and I can see when past checks were, and I can add a check. And I'm going to fill out my camera check form. And then when I back out, I can go back to the burrow check itself. And so if I want to go back in there and I made a mistake or something to that effect, I can just click back on the camera location and click on the check itself. Let's say I wanted to add a new camera location to this specific burrow. It's a new burrow, or maybe I just want to add a second camera, or it doesn't have a camera. I click add camera location, and what that does is it adds a new camera location. It names it for me. I can say this is the west camera, and I can hit save. Now you can see that I have two camera locations listed under my burrow. I can then click on it and I can add a check. So now I'm going to go back and I'm going to switch to offline mode so that you can see how I can collect something in offline mode and then sync it to the server. So in this case, I'm going to add a new burrow. So I'm going to click the point button, I'm going to click burrow, and I'm going to save, and then I'm going to add checks. So it's a new burrow. I'm going to select the taxa, and I'm going to add my information. And maybe I'm going to add a new camera location too, so I click add camera locations and name it. Actually, one thing I didn't do when I added this burrow is I didn't give it a tag. So I'm just going to save what I have so far. And I'm going to go back over here to my data menu for the burrow, and I'm going to add the tag. And save it. So now I can go back into my check, and you can see my check was red on the menu. That means it hasn't been synced. And when I come back to this map as well, you'll see that my camera location and my burrow are red. And then also there's a red icon and there's red indicators showing what needs to be synced. I'm going to show you one more thing doing a species observation. So let's say you come across a burrow not on a normal check and you find a dead bird. So we're going to use this burrow right here, 193, as our example. So I'm going to select species observation. Actually, before we do that, let's take a look at what the species is. Okay, we're going to just take a look, and it says Hawaiian petrel. So by doing a species observation, we can change the mortality of the burrow. We can also change the taxonomy of the burrow. So I'm going to do species observation. I'm going to click the point button, select species observation. I'm going to select burrow, and then from the burrow list, I'm going to select search for my burrow. I can filter 193. I'm going to say it's dead. I found a bunch of bones, and say mortality injury. It was predated by a cat, and then when I save this, it asks me if I want to change the burrow, the seasonality, the mortality. So it'll actually mark that burrow as one that's been predated. But the other thing that I can also do in that record, I can go back into it, I can change the taxonomy. So when I change the taxonomy, I'm going to select a new taxonomy for the burrow. I'm going to say that it's a shearwater, because I actually found it and I see that it's shearwater and it's dead. And I'm going to save the species observation, and that'll actually change the taxonomy of the burrow itself. So now once I get back to the office, I'm going to change back to online mode, and then I'm going to push my data. And pushing your data syncs it back to the server. Well, thanks for watching the video, and if you have any questions, let me know.